We all have a drawer like that, a hidden place for genius ideas that never see the light of day. Why does talent often choose to stay hidden? Elena is a brilliant architect, but she is trapped. Her workspace is cluttered with designs that she believes are never quite ready for the real world to see. The cursor blinks incessantly, mocking the dozens of versions of the same project. Each file represents a hope that was stifled by the need for more polish. She has the chance to change her life tonight. The submit button is right there, a gateway to the recognition her hard work truly deserves from others. But perfectionism is a cruel master. It whispers that it is not good enough, that the world will see her flaws instead of her vision and talent. Fear wins again. With a heavy sigh, she retreats into the shadows, convincing herself that she just needs a little more time to make it truly perfect. Into the drawer it goes, another masterpiece buried under the weight of not yet. She is waiting for a moment that will never actually arrive in reality. While she waits, the world moves on. Others with less talent but more courage are standing where she should be, celebrating their imperfect but finished work. She is a ghost in her own career, an invisible force of potential that never manifests. The cost of her safety is the slow death of her dreams. Time is the only thing she cannot get back. Every tick of the clock is a reminder that the perfect moment is a dangerous and seductive illusion. This is the psychological barrier, a glass wall that separates the version of you who dreams from the version of you who actually does the work. On the other side stands the Elena she could become. Radiant, successful, and brave enough to be seen. It is a life lived without the fear of judgment. That version of her didn't wait for perfection. She understood that every great building starts with a messy sketch and the courage to build it anyway. She wants to cross over, to join that reality. But the glass is thick, reinforced by years of telling herself that she is simply not ready yet. Her feet are anchored by her own mind. The comfort of the waiting room has become a prison, making it impossible to take even a single step. The erosion has begun. When talent is not used, it doesn't just stay the same. It slowly wears away under the weight of inaction and fear. The comfort zone is a myth. It is actually a place of slow decay where your brightest ideas turn to dust before they can ever bloom. The internal critic manifests its poison on the glass. It repeats the lies we tell ourselves to justify our refusal to take a risk and fail. We fear the laughter of others more than we value our own growth. This fear of phantasmal judgment is the mask that perfectionism wears so often. Procrastination is the most dangerous form of fear because it feels like a rational decision. It tells you that later will be safer than right now. She is drowning in the silence of her own potential. Without movement, there is no air, no life, and no hope for a different future ahead. Welcome to the Museum of Things Never Started. This is the most crowded and saddest place in the world, filled with ghosts of human creativity. Every empty space represents a moment where someone said not yet. This museum doesn't house failures. It houses the things that were never even tried. There is the book that could have changed lives, but the author was too afraid of a bad first draft to ever finish the first chapter. Here lies a revolutionary business that died in a notebook because the founder was waiting for the perfect market conditions to launch their vision. Even the most personal risks are kept here. The words that were never spoken because the timing didn't feel exactly right to the fearful heart. The silence here is deafening. It is the sound of missed connections and unfulfilled destinies. It is the cost of staying safe from the world. She reaches the center. This pedestal is reserved for the greatest potential, the one that belongs to her and her alone in this silent space. Her name is etched in brass. It is her life's work or the lack of it. Seeing her name on an empty stand is a wake-up call. She realizes that waiting for the right time is just a slow way of ensuring that her pedestal remains forever empty in this cold, dark place. The pain of regret is starting to outweigh the fear of failure. She finally understands that an imperfect life is better than a non-existent one. She cannot stay here anymore. The museum is for those who have given up, and she realizes she still has time to change her own story. Morning has broken. Elena is back at her desk, but something in her eyes has changed. The heavy gloom of the night has finally been lifted. She starts small. She picks up a piece of scrap paper, stripping away the pressure of creating a masterpiece on her very first try today. Step 1. Embrace the mess. She writes it down as a contract with herself. Perfection is no longer the goal. Raw creation is the priority. She lets the lines flow. They aren't straight. They aren't perfect. But they are real. She is finally communicating with her own creative soul again. She ignores the eraser. Every mistake is just a new direction, a part of the process that she no longer feels the need to hide away. Step 2. The 10-minute rule. This is about speed over analysis. She is training her brain to act before the fear has time to set in. She sets the timer. 10 minutes of pure, uninterrupted action. No self-criticism allowed until the bell rings. The race against her own doubt has begun. She works like a whirlwind. By giving herself a deadline, she bypasses the part of her mind that usually stops her from being truly creative. The backspace key is the enemy of progress. She keeps moving forward, understanding that quantity often leads to the quality she was searching for earlier. She is breaking a sweat, not from labor, but from the intensity of finally letting go. The power of good enough is fueling her every move. Step 3. Publicize the draft. This is the hardest part, the final wall to break. It's time to let someone else see the unfinished work. She captures the chaos. No filters, no cropping, just the honest reality of a work in progress. It is a terrifying and beautiful act of bravery. She opens her email and attaches the image. Her heart is pounding in her chest, but she doesn't allow herself to close the application this time. She looks at the send button. It no longer looks like a threat. It looks like a release. She is ready to be seen as human. Click. The message is gone. The draft is out in the world, beyond her control. And the sky didn't fall down when she sent it. It is done. The cycle of hiding is broken. She has traded the safety of the drawer for the possibility of a real conversation about her work. The weight is lifted. She feels lighter than she has in years. The monster of perfectionism has been defeated by the simple act of starting. Now comes the real test. Elena stands before a board of experts. The stakes are high, but she is no longer the girl in the shadows. The old fear tries to rise, but she acknowledges it and pushes through. She knows that being brave isn't about being fearless. It's about acting anyway. She steps into the light. For the first time, she isn't hiding her ideas. She is the advocate for her own unique and powerful creative vision. She presents the drafts. They are raw, they are unfinished, but they contain the spark of something brilliant that perfection would have polished away into nothing. Her voice is steady. She talks about the soul of the building, the humanity in the flaws, and the courage required to build something truly new. The barrier begins to fail. Every word she speaks is a hammer blow against the glass wall of her own self-imposed psychological limitations and fears. The cracks grow. The pressure of her authenticity is too much for the wall of perfectionism to bear. The structure of her fear is failing. It shatters. The wall is gone. The separation between the Elena who dreams and the Elena who does has been permanently and beautifully destroyed today. She is free. Not because she is perfect, but because she is present. She has finally claimed her place in the world of the living creators. The reaction isn't what she feared. They aren't laughing. They are intrigued by the honesty and the raw potential visible in every single rough line. Criticism comes, and it's sharp, but it doesn't hurt her. She realizes that feedback is the fuel for growth, not a death sentence for her ego. She accepts the challenge. By being willing to be wrong, she has finally opened the door to being truly great. Her journey has officially begun. A few weeks later, life looks different. Elena sits in the sun, no longer hiding in the dark office of her own perfectionist mind anymore. She sketches constantly now. Her notebook is a mess of ideas, some bad, some good, all moving her closer to her true potential as an artist. The world is wide and full of possibilities when you stop trying to control every outcome. She is finally breathing the air of the present moment. The drawer is no longer a coffin for her dreams. It is an open archive of her progress. The locks have been removed for good now. Her hand is steady. She knows that every great work is just a series of small, imperfect actions taken with a heart full of courage. What about you? What is waiting in your drawer? Don't let your talent wither in the dark. The world needs your voice, however imperfect it is. Open the drawer today. Start before you are ready, because the only truly perfect time to show your talent to the world is right now.